So this is a mid-morning look at the Alabama severe weather situation. I'm James Spann doing this update on Friday, the 3rd of March. Time is about 10:23. And as expected, it is a very windy and stormy morning for Alabama. And let's just go right to the radar. Let's take a look and see where we stand now. And you can see that line of strong to severe storms rolling through northwest and west Alabama. And the main issue, it's just wind, a lot of wind. We have gradient winds ahead of the storms, not related to the storms, and then we have convective winds within the storms. And you can see that the entire line is blanketed with severe thunderstorm warnings. Those include Lauderdale, Colbert, Lawrence, Franklin, Marion, Fayette, Lamar, and Pickens counties in Alabama. And those warnings will be extended eastward as the storms progress rapidly through the state. And thankfully, these will not last long. I mean, they will hit you real quick and they'll leave really quick. It's going to take a while for the wind to die down, but that's the setup there. We'll take a kind of a stop this and take a look at some of the different line segments here. You can see the top edge of this coming through the shoals. And I'll just say within the line, we have had winds gusting to 50 to 70 miles an hour in northeastern and east central Mississippi. A lot of reports of trees down and power lines down and power outages. There's been some structural damage. We had an 18-wheeler that was blown over along Interstate 22 near Tupelo. And again, you can see the line stretches again from Florence and the Shoals down to Russellville, Phil Campbell, Hackleburg, and Guin. And from there, it goes down into Lamar County, down toward Millport, and then into Pickens County, down toward McShann and Macedonia and Memphis, Alabama. And that line will be advancing rapidly through the northern half of the state. And again, wind is the main issue, but having said that, there could be a few little kinks or breaks in the line where there could be an isolated tornado or two. But again, the primary tornado threat most likely will be a little north of Alabama. The Storm Prediction Center just issued their mid-morning update. This is the convective outlook for this afternoon. And we have a level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk for parts of North Alabama. This is for areas generally north of a line from near Cullman over to Gadsden. This would include Huntsville, Lake Gunnersville, Fort Payne, Scottsboro, the areas in orange. That's level 3 out of level 5. We have a level 2 threat down to near Demopolis, Montgomery, and Opelika. And a level 1 threat as far south as Evergreen and Grove Hill and Troy. And there's no risk of severe storms now for Mobile, Baldwin counties in the far southern part of the state. The air is capped, the air is too stable, and no severe weather problems. But understand, it's very windy statewide. In fact, again, we have the wind advisory for most of the state, a high wind warning in effect for the Tennessee Valley. I wanted to peg the geek meter here for just a second. This is the morning upper air sounding from the Shelby County Airport. This is where they're launched in Alabama, and this is how we get the upper air data. And the one feature to note, it's that little layer of warm air you see in that red circle. That's the warm air that's been talked about this morning. Quite frankly, it's a blessing. If we did not have that cap, discrete storms would likely be in progress east of the main line that would be producing tornadoes right now. So that cap is our friend. It's keeping the storms really confined to that one line. And again, with the main threat coming from strong, damaging straight line winds. So once again, here's a look at the radar. And again, this line will be just getting through here very quickly. And I would imagine that the Weather Service offices will continue to post severe thunderstorm warnings for the entire length of the line until it clears the state moving into Georgia. And again, I would just, word of caution here. We could have a couple of isolated tornadoes, but convective wind within the storms and gradient wind. That's the biggest issue today. If you've been outside, you know what it's like. The gradient winds away from storms could gust to 50 miles an hour, especially on the ridges. And when the line comes through, you could see winds of 50 to 70 miles per hour, gusts, not sustained winds. And with all of that going on, with the soil being fairly wet, inevitably we're going to see some trees down, and we'll have some power outages already. We've had many reports of that there in West Alabama as the storms keep on coming through the shoals and down through parts of Franklin, Marion, Fayette, and Lamar counties. The core threat is going to be for the northern half of the state, really. Down in South Alabama, that warm air, stable air should prevent the storms being a problem down there. It's going to be mainly North Alabama, especially along and north of Interstate 20. Over the next couple of hours, the line should be in Tuscaloosa by 11, Birmingham 11 until noon, Anniston, Gadsden by 1:30, and I think by 2 or 3 o'clock, everything will be long gone, and the sun comes back out. The winds will gradually die down this evening, and the weekend just looks gorgeous. So again, if you're just joining us here, let me kind of give you a quick radar tour, if you will. We'll start up here in the northwestern part of the state. You can see the line. And again, we have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for parts of Lauderdale, Colbert, Franklin, down into parts of Lawrence County, then into Marion County, Fayette, Lamar, and Pickens. But the core part of the line is now a little east of the shoals, east of Florence, east of Muscle Shoals, Sheffield, Tuscumbia. That'll be coming up on Rogersville and Town Creek and Moulton fairly soon. But from Lauderdale extends down to Russellville, right down US 43 to Phil Campbell. The line is past Hackleburg. It is now right on top of Guin. It'll be coming through Winfield here in a few minutes. And again, the line extends down into the eastern part of Lamar County, down toward Kennedy and Millport. And then into Pickens County. It's going to be coming up on Reform fairly soon. And then down to Pickensville on the Tom Bigby. And again, we have seen from time to time kinks and evidence of rotation here. And understand, in a situation like this, the tornadoes will be brief and short-lived, and they are just so hard to warn for. They last for 2, 3, 4 minutes, and they're gone. You see the rotation, you issue a warning. By the time the warning goes out, the tornado is lifted. So just understand, a tornado could touch down, a brief tornado, without a warning in a case like this. But again, wind is the big issue. So again, not going to keep you long here. It's 10:29. And again, if you're just joining us real quick, this is the new outlook from SPC put out within the past 15 minutes or so. And again, you can see we've got an enhanced risk for the next several hours for parts of north and northeast Alabama. This would include Decatur, Gadsden, Weiss Lake, Center, Leesburg, Fort Payne, Boaz, Albertville, Scottsboro. For Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, and Anniston, Clanton, that's a level 2 out of 5, the yellow, and then that level 1 out of 5 south of Montgomery. And again, really, I think the core threat of the really tough wind, it's going to be parts of the northern half of the state, north of Interstate 20. And we just noticed here a new severe thunderstorm warning, and these are going to be coming out through the course of the morning. We have new warnings in effect now for parts of Limestone, Lawrence, Morgan, Cullman, Winston, Walker, the eastern part of Fayette counties. And again, these polygons will just be extended eastward through the course of the morning hours. And again, within that line, you could see convective wind gusts to 50 to 70 miles an hour. So again, new severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for parts of Limestone, Morgan, Lawrence, Cullman, Winston, Walker, Fayette counties. And again, one will probably be needed for Tuscaloosa County pretty soon as the storms will be zipping through the state. So that'll do it. And again, if we have tornado warnings, we will hop on the television side in Studio A here and do the TV thing like we always do for tornado warnings. As it stands now with a situation like this, we just don't feel it's warranted to do wall-to-wall. I mean, we don't like to cut off TV programs Taylor Sorello, of course, is working the morning shift, and our 11 o'clock news begins in 30 minutes on ABC 3340, so we'll be live for a full hour at 11 o'clock. And again, if there's a tornado warning, we'll hop on the air and stay there. So that's it for this update. We'll keep you advised. I'm James Spann with Taylor Sorello live in the ABC 3340 Weather Center.